To understand how these manifestations birth themselves onto the side of this fabric, this plane of existence, natural realm. Excuse me. You simply get a piece of paper, on a piece of paper, not a small piece of paper. You draw up a chart based, not really brainstorming, not quite. You draw a small circle as the nucleus, and you branch out. Uh, You draw a small circle, then outside that circle you draw a bigger circle, and then a bigger circle, and then another circle. As many as you need, as many rings to the onion, so to speak, that you need. Okay, you have the onion has a nucleus, then you work your way out to the surface level of the onion, the flesh, right? The surface level of the ocean, the actual crime, the actual homicide. Um, I'm not going to go over every one. It's just for illustrative purposes. And then any police departments stumble onto this, obviously are well trained and can fill in the blanks for themselves. Um, um, I mean, it really depends how thorough the officers want to be for closure purposes. I have no idea if it will be admissible in court or not. Probably not, because majority of the laws written by beta males, laws don't consider pseudosciences or metaphysics as admissible in court. Predictive programming, etc. Indoctrination systems, etc. Sorry, I'm driving forward and going back in reverse over and over. This really bad steering wheel on my vehicle, on my courier vehicle. Now I'm finally parked in place. What if Perry would do it like that? If Perry is on the case, Perry has to solve for why by himself, with one partner, whatever. On this piece of paper, on one of those, screw it. Around the nucleus, you're gonna put parental programming. You're gonna examine that and deconstruct that indoctrination system. You're gonna deconstruct the curriculum that was taught in home. You're gonna talk to mom and dad about any mental health issues, emotional disturbances, character, personality profile, learning capacity, From there, you'll rinse and repeat those questions with immediate family. From there, you'll examine peer selection, influence of each peer, positive, negative variance of each peer. Come up with a hypothesis, whether the influence each peer was positive or negative, why or why not. You're going to look at the overall play style: virgin, promiscuous, one baby daddy, 5 baby daddies, happily married 25 years, happily divorced 25 years, etc. Somewhere before you get to the surface, the flesh of the onion, somewhere you have to put down on there. You have to gather somehow, somewhere. You have to get the data. Social media, again, immediate family, the peers. You have to get their testimonies to put together some type of picture. Within the last, I have no idea if there's a difference. The last within from 1 year of exposure versus 3 years of exposure versus 5 years of exposure. But I'm sure those answers are in some CIA declassified document. I'm sure. But only for illustrative purposes, I will have to find some type of way to get my hands on data, raw data. Her closest confidence within the last 2-year period. What doctrines has she formed covenant with? What schools of thought has she formed covenant with, far as indoctrination systems go? And you separate them. Doctrines she formed covenant with from the radio, doctrines she formed covenant with. I don't know why I'm saying why am I saying she? Subconsciously, I guess I did that because this channel, well, phase 1 is all about spirit of Jezebel. It's all about ungodly women, Delilah spirit, Lilith spirit. That's what phase 1 is all about. Not she, they, excuse me, they. You separate doctrines they form with TV screen from doctrines formed with the big screen. And then level of exposure to these heretical, seditious, blasphemous doctrines, these schools of thought. Say from the radio, John Doe, Jane Doe formed covenant with Doctrine A, Doctrine B, Doctrine C. They're not exactly the same, but there are similarities. Some murder or suicide or drug abuse or alcohol abuse. They're not exactly the same, but there's enough similarities between Doctrine A, Doctrine B, Doctrine C, irregardless of the genre that John Doe, Jane Doe formed covenant with for the last 2-year period. And then those 3 doctrines, the level of exposure. You want to have a general idea. Again, dealing with indoctrination systems, and then fallout leads to a reprobate mind, which is almost synonymous to total mind control, where the flesh, the behavioralisms of the flesh run on an autopilot type of system. Okay, that's why you get these manifestations, these very rich, organic, authentic, straightforward, honest manifestations in the courtroom. I don't know why, as far as decimal ranges, as far as just body language, facial expressions, the word selection, the crackling in the vocal cords, etc., etc. Very rich, very honest, very straightforward manifestations in the courtroom. I don't know what happened, Your Honor. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. KNOW. Know what came over me. I don't know. One thing led to another. I became enraged. What they're really saying is I succumbed to or came under demonic attack to a raged demon. Inadvertently, that's what they're saying or admitting to. Anyway, doctrine A, B, or C. Then for each one, you want to get a closest possible estimation of level of exposure to doctrine A, B, or C. Once a year. No, don't do it like that. Once a day, 3 times a day, 6 times a day, 9 times a day, 12 times a day. Once a week, 3 times a week, 6 times a week, 9 times a week, 12 times a week. Once a month, 3 times a month, 6 times a month, 9 times a month, 12 times a month. 5 times in the last 6 months. 10, 15, okay, 30, 60 times in the last 6 months. Once a year. 5 times a year. 10 times a year. 15 times a year. 20 times a year. 40 times a year. For doctrine A, then doctrine B, then doctrine C. John Doe, Jane Doe formed covenant with, to help get a better idea how this, quote, crime, end quote, how this particular, this specific manifestation birthed itself into the natural fabric of the physical realm, this dimension, this plane of existence, to get a better idea of what was happening in the spirit realm, okay, in that clay house, John Doe, Jane Doe, what was going on in their spirit, in order for this event to manifest or birth itself into the natural fabric of this realm, this plane, this physical realm of existence, this on this plane of existence. Okay. All praise due unto the Most High Abba Yah, His Son Jesus, the Christ of Nazareth, Yeshua HaMashiach. Shalom.